I've been sitting on this story for years, and it still stings like a fresh cut every time I think about it. I'm 23 now, but when I was 15, my family pulled something that pretty much shattered any sense of trust I had in them. I don't know if I'm looking for advice, closure, or just a vent, but I need to get this out somewhere, and I figure this sub is as good a place as any. Buckle up, because this is a long one, and it's messy. It was December 2017, and I was a sophomore in high school. My family, mom, dad, older sister, 17 at the time, and younger brother, 12, had been planning a big Christmas vacation for months. A Caribbean cruise, 7 days, some fancy ship with water slides and all-you-can-eat buffets. They'd been hyping it up since the summer, talking about snorkeling in the Bahamas, ziplining in Jamaica, the works. I was stoked. I'd never been on a cruise before, and we weren't exactly a family that took big vacations like this often. Money was tight growing up, so this felt like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I was a quiet kid, kind of a loner, but not in a weird way. I got decent grades, stayed out of trouble, and mostly kept to myself. My sister, though, she was the golden child. Cheerleader, straight-A student, always the center of attention. My brother was the baby, so he got away with everything. Me? I was just there. I didn't cause problems, but I also didn't get much notice. I figured the cruise would be a chance to, I don't know, bond or something. Maybe I'd finally feel like I belonged in my own family. About a month before the trip, things started getting weird. My parents were whispering a lot, having these hushed conversations that stopped whenever I walked into the room. My sister was acting smug, like she knew something I didn't. My brother just kept playing his Nintendo Switch, oblivious as always. I asked my mom what was going on, and she just said, "Oh, nothing, just cruise stuff." I didn't push it. I wish I had. 2 weeks before Christmas, my dad called a family meeting. I thought it was about packing or itinerary stuff, but when I sat down at the kitchen table, everyone was looking at me like I'd just been caught stealing. My mom wouldn't even make eye contact. Dad cleared his throat and said, "We need to talk about the cruise." My stomach dropped. I knew something bad was coming, but I wasn't prepared for what he said next. "We've decided you're not coming with us." I just sat there, blinking, waiting for the punchline. Surely this was a joke, right? But no one was laughing. My sister was smirking. My brother was staring at his hands, and my mom was looking out the window, like she was trying to teleport out of the room. I asked why, and my dad launched into this rehearsed speech about how I'd been disrespectful and ungrateful lately, and they thought it'd be best if I stayed home to reflect on my behavior. Disrespectful? Ungrateful? I was floored. I hadn't done anything. I wasn't a perfect kid, sure, but I wasn't sneaking out, failing school, or mouthing off. I asked for examples, and they couldn't give me any. Just vague stuff like, "You know how you've been acting." I looked at my mom, hoping she'd stick up for me, but she just nodded along with Dad. My sister piped up and said, "Maybe you'll appreciate us more when we're gone." That's when it hit me. This wasn't about me being bad. They just didn't want me there. I don't know why, but that's what it felt like. Like I was the odd one out, the piece that didn't fit in their perfect family vacation photo. I tried to argue, but my dad shut it down. "It's decided. You're staying with Grandma." Grandma lived an hour away in this tiny, musty house that smelled like mothballs and regret. She was nice enough, but she was 78, half-deaf, and not exactly the fun grandma type. I begged them to reconsider, but they were done talking. The meeting ended, and I went to my room and cried. I don't cry much, but that night I sobbed until my chest hurt. I felt like garbage, like my own family had thrown me away. The next week was torture. They were all buzzing with excitement, packing their swimsuits and talking about the cruise, like it was the second coming of Christ. I was invisible. My mom wouldn't look at me. My dad acted like nothing was wrong. And my sister kept making snide comments like, "Don't worry, we'll send you a postcard." My brother at least seemed a little guilty, but he didn't say anything. I stopped trying to talk to them. What was the point? The day they left, I was dropped off at Grandma's with a duffel bag and a half-hearted, "We'll see you in a week." No hugs, no apologies, just a quick wave as they piled into the minivan and drove off. I stood on Grandma's porch, watching their taillights disappear, and I felt this hollow ache in my chest that I can still feel sometimes, even now. Grandma tried her best. She made me canned soup and let me watch whatever I wanted on her ancient TV. But I was miserable. Christmas Eve was the worst. Grandma fell asleep early, and I just sat there in her living room, staring at this sad little plastic Christmas tree with 3 ornaments on it. My family was out there, sipping hot chocolate on a cruise ship, probably laughing and toasting to their perfect vacation, while I was eating Campbell's chicken noodle soup in a house that smelled like Bengay. I kept checking my phone, hoping for a text, a call, anything. Nothing. They didn't even call on Christmas Day. I spent a lot of that week thinking about why they did it. Was I really that bad? Did they just not like me? I replayed every interaction I could remember, trying to figure out what I'd done to deserve this. I came up empty. The only thing I could think of was that I wasn't like them. My sister was loud and popular, my brother was cute and spoiled, and my parents were, well, they were them. I was just the quiet kid who liked reading and playing video games. Maybe that wasn't enough for them. When they got back, they acted like everything was normal. They showed me pictures, talked about how amazing the cruise was, and gave me a t-shirt from Nassau that was 2 sizes too big. I didn't say much. I couldn't. I just nodded and went back to my room. They never brought it up again, never apologized, never explained. It's like it never happened to them. But for me, it was the police officer, and I'd still be sitting in jail if it wasn't for him. He was just doing his job, sure, but the way he handled it, calm, professional, no judgment, made me feel like a person again, not just a screw-up. I'll never forget that. Fast forward to now, I'm 23, living on my own, working a decent job in IT. I don't talk to my family much. I moved out at 18, went to community college, and built a life for myself. My parents tried to act like everything was fine after the cruise, but I never forgave them. My sister's off living her Instagram perfect life, married to some finance bro. My brother's in college, still kind of a spoiled brat, but not a bad kid. I see them maybe once a year, and it's always awkward. They don't get why I'm distant, and I don't have the energy to explain it. That cruise was the breaking point, but it wasn't the only time they made me feel like I didn't matter. It was just the loudest. I don't know if I'll ever fully get over it. I've got friends now, a couple of close ones who feel more like family than my actual family ever did. I'm doing okay, but there's still this part of me that wonders why I wasn't good enough for them. Therapy's helped a little, but it's a slow process. Writing this out feels weirdly cathartic, though, like I'm finally letting it breathe after keeping it locked up for so long. If you've read this far, thanks. I don't know what I'm expecting from posting this. Maybe I just want someone to hear me, you know? to know that 15-year-old kid sitting alone on Christmas Eve was real, and he's still in here somewhere, trying to figure out how to move on. TLDR. When I was 15, my family went on a Christmas cruise without me, left me with my grandma, and never really explained why. It messed me up, and I'm still working through it years later.